What's up, Blueprint family? How y'all doing today? Thank you all for joining us. And also for the Instagram followers, please, if you can, we're going to be showing a lot of statistics and articles. So if you can go ahead and join in on our YouTube, you can follow along that way. We really appreciate it so that you can follow and look at the statistics because we got some very interesting data that we want to show you all today. And it's going to help to shed light on the what's our topic today.
Well, in particular, we are just summing up our whole conversation we've had all week on hypergamy, hypogamy, and hymogamy. So first, we can start off with the historical marital status tables. These are the statistics from the U.S. Census Bureau released November 2022. So the most recent information. So we already have this up and going, and we can start with the first table. Oh, let's turn off this music so we can get in here good, y'all. All right.
And the mic's on. Yep. Sharing. Yep. Screen sharing.
Yep. Okay.
Cool.
So we start here and we see the marital status of the population 15 years and older by sex, race, and Hispanic origin from 1950 to the present. This is from the census.
And you're showing this because?
Now, this is just showing right now, looking at all races, the men total married, out of all the men that have reported to the census, 131,000. So 67,851 of them are married. The total unmarried, including never married, widowed, and divorced, is about 63,470. So if we're looking at the men compared to going all the way down to let's see, what's a good year? Maybe the 2000s? Wow. Okay. So in the 2000s, with the total reported, it was only like 51,000 compared to 34,000 that were unmarried. And then now we look at the women. So we have the women married, 2022, 137,000 roughly reported, 68,000 married, and 68,446. That's important because if we look at the women unmarried, total, never married, widowed, or divorced, we have 68,816. So now it seems like it trended where it's more for the women, more unmarried than married for the population. That's just interesting to see. And if we want to compare that down to what we had, the 2000s. So same. It's always been, that's a big difference. So back then in 2000s, it was 52,000 that were married compared to 38,000 that were never married. That's a huge difference.
Yeah, so more people are marrying.
More women. This is just women.
Well, yeah, more women, but overall, if you go up at the top, also, more men people are trending to get married. Mm-hmm. So more and more people are trending.
Still getting married.
Still getting married, and more people are getting married.
But in particular, women. The amount of women that are unmarried have increased drastically over the years compared to the ones that were married. Because when we looked at this is a big difference. That's a big difference, which is different because up here, it's, not.
Well, you have also around 20,000 more women who were never married.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that's just interesting to get a general summary for that. And so then next, we check out the estimate median age for marriage by sex from 1890 to the present. So this is going to tie us into what we're talking about today. Men and women are marrying so much later now. The average age, in 2022 for men was 30.1. And the women's age is 28.2 compared to, let's say, 2000, 25, and 26. Wow. Men were 26 years old getting married then. So What do you think plays a part in that? If you want to first start
The
there.
economy.
Yeah.
Um, the economy. So finance has a lot to do with marriage statistics. Go back to that graph, not the graph. Go back to
The
the
numbers.
data.
Yeah.
Go all the way down.
Oh wow. Okay.
Once you go all the way down, as you can see, so okay, that's 1890.
Oh,
Go
the
up some
youngest
more.
was like right here, near the end,
Right.
22,
So they call the baby boomers, the ones that's born.
19. Well, married in 1949, so it was prior before that.
So in the 40s, the baby boomers came about. They came back out to a generation that was marrying way young.
Mm-hmm.
But also too, at that time, you didn't have inflation on the scale that you have today.
Right.
And then some wars were fought. Maybe the reason why there were younger kids being younger people getting married, because you want to marry before you get drafted.
Yeah.
So a lot of that had to deal with that.
Yeah.
And then you see the 70s, it stayed consistent.
Yeah. 22, 23. Okay. Now it's averaging 23.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So now, in the 70s, that's when
Yeah. 77.
crack cocaine hit hard, starting to
Uh-huh.
hit harder in the communities. In the mid 70s.
Wow. Women were marrying at 20s, 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 20s.
Yep.
Not even 21.
Now, these are your
Wow.
grandparents'
Right.
relationships. They were marrying young, but what was
Yeah.
working for them? No, go ahead and continue, go up. What was
Mhm.
working for them was the fact that the economy was better. There was an American dream of the
Mhm.
picket fence, 2 kids in a car and working at General Motors or Ford or whatever the case may be, making $65,000. That was a lot of money back then.
Yeah.
You could sustain and be happy, go out, go to the malls, shopping malls, and do whatever you wanted to do, and still had enough money left over.
Yeah.
But as time goes on, go back
2009, it hits 28. That was when the
after,
economy was really
yeah,
hard
after
at that
the
time. Yeah.
recession of 2008,
Mhm.
housing market crash.
Mhm.
You can see that men were marrying well into approaching their 30s.
Mhm. And women had hit 25, going to 26.
Right. And then that was where women were marrying right out of college.
Mhm.
And then now,
Well, right out of college might have been like 23.
yeah, 23.
Well,
So
so
that was
this
in
was
the
like
80s.
1980s. So were they going to college like back then?
Yeah, they were. Women were
Okay.
going in college in the 80s.
I mean, like heavy.
No, I wouldn't say
I'm
so.
telling my age here. I was born in 92.
Not so much so.
Okay.
In the 90s, I would say so. That's where you see
When the
more of the
heavy
black,
college age.
especially
Okay.
black women were graduating from colleges more, first generations.
Okay.
And then now that's surpassing their college years.
Right.
So you have these career women now who were dating later. I mean, who are marrying later
Mhm.
and later. Keep scrolling up.
Yeah.
25, 26.
Mhm. And then you hit what we see right here is where 2020 is where it hits 30 for men.
And pretty much for women.
Yeah, and pretty much for women. Yeah. Wow. That is very interesting to know. So a lot of the children, well, I don't know, you can only say the ones resulting from marriage are being born later. Wow. Well, that is very interesting to look at if you want to see, for those that like to put things into figures. Here is your figure for your marital status for men. As you can see, in like 1950s, 70% of men.
Fewer men are getting married.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
More
That's
men are
trending
never
up.
married, which is
Yeah,
trending up.
trending up.
Still the same.
Married is trending down. So what this
Fewer
means,
men are getting married.
divorce or like, just fewer men. Yeah,
fewer men are getting married.
Yeah. A divorce. Oh, here it is. Divorce right here. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's line going. It's trending down. Okay, we're gonna look to contribute.
No, it's not.
that.
That's sideways.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I'm hopeful.
That divorce and widow, those sideways.
Yeah, that's good.
So
okay.
if you want to be honest with you, there are more men getting divorced now than since the 80s.
Right, because of the dropping down.
No, go back down
marriage.
to divorce.
Mm-hmm, right
you see those 2 dots?
Yeah.
That's the trend line.
Okay.
So it's trending up. So it's actually trending up since the 80s. So more men are getting divorced.
Wow.
Okay,
and so now we look at the women. Women never married again.
It's trending up.
You have the widowed. Okay, that's interesting. Widowed back then, so men are living longer.
No, they're just not
Or
marrying.
no, I'm looking at widowed because widowed is higher. And
Yes,
like
it's dropping.
Mhm.
You
So
know
men are
why?
living longer.
Nope.
No?
Look at married.
Okay.
They're not marrying.
And it crosses right here. That's interesting with the widowed and the divorced.
More women are divorcing, less
Mhm.
widows because less women are getting married.
Right. And it
So
goes right up.
let that sink
Yeah.
in. Let that sink in. So
Wow.
that's how you read that. So let that
Wow.
sink in. More women are, the trending up is never married and divorced, and then trending down is married and widowed women, American women. This is the statistics from the United States Census Bureau.
Most recent release November 2022.
Yeah. So those are the trend lines. We're not lying when we're talking and saying that less women are getting married. Now we've stated multiple factors on why women are not considering marriage.
Yeah.
I just recently heard an article today that women are considering just having children,
Wow.
only having children,
Wow.
and don't want to get married.
Despite what we know about two-parent households being the best way to raise children.
Right.
That is
so selfish.
It is.
Very
It
selfish.
Very much is.
So go back to the men's trend lines again.
Mhm.
So as you can see, men are also not getting married.
Right.
Because women here don't want to get married in the United States.
Or the men are having a hard time finding mates that they want to marry.
Right, because right now it's never married.
Yeah, and then if you look at the median age, so here's the figure for the median age at first marriage. So if you just to put that into figures, what we had talked about previously,
it's trending above 30.
Mm-hmm.
It's well above 30.
Yeah, but look, it looks like it might be going down. In particular, it looks a lot more sharper for women, which I think is a good thing considering we had also found another article that kind of again ties in what we were talking about all week with the hypogamy and the hypergamy and homogamy. So the Mercury News has published that when men marry later, the age gap is larger. That's interesting.
Right. So what we're trying to explain here and show proof of is that for women, hypergamy increases your probability of a longer marriage relationship. Mm-hmm. Dating someone who's older than you, women, that will help you to sustain and be in a marriage longer. I've read those statistics in the past about women are 80% likely to initiate a divorce. But the key thing here is that if you women marry someone who's older, mm-hmm. I'm talking about what type of age gap we're talking about. 2 to 5 years older. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, just older.
And that's older still men. Hypergamy, believe it or not, because homogamy means same age.
Husband, within 6 to 9 years older.
When you're talking about your actual companion, your your equal in a sense. So somebody you're talking about, y'all went to school together, type things, all same age, which is high. But
yeah, because that's the most common thing because you're around mostly your peers.
Yeah,
we don't hang around senior citizens. Mm-hmm. No, probably unless you're in church, right, or something like that. But normally, people, the 30-year-old crowd, even the 20-year-old crowd, normally don't hang around people who are 50 or 60 years old.
Yeah. Now, this data is older, but this is just to show how usually it's split off with the husband being older. Usually, you'll see the husband 2 to 5 years older, or 6 to 9 years older, or 10 plus years older. And so then when we get into hypergamy in the sense that a lot of people think about, you're looking at like the 10 plus years older. Now, when your wife is older, it's not that many, but that's the hypogamy, where the woman is the highest one.
It's the oldest one.
Right. And probably socioeconomics too.
Plays a part. It always does.
Yeah, most of the time, yeah. But that's just important to note because with the trend still going up, it's showing that the older a man is when he marries after 40, the greater the likelihood that his bride will be significantly younger. And that's whether a man is wealthy or not. Now, this is actual research, guys. And so the poor guys marry down in age just as much as the rich guys do, said Paula England, a Stanford sociologist and co-author of the new study. That's interesting.
Yeah, this came from Stanford University research. So I mean, that may be the reason why marriages are not lasting. Because if you go to that pie chart again at the top, you see that also that's what's competing also with older husbands is the same age. Because what you're going to see is that those women who divorce out of the same age, go on to marry older men.
Yeah. And most of the time it's because, like we're seeing, you call this like the struggle love, right? Because you're young, you don't really have anything together, especially if you start fresh out of high school, fresh out of college or whatever, you really don't have much during this time. So your struggle love, you're going through things together, building resources together. We talked about that yesterday.
Making a lot of mistakes.
Yeah. So, and that can be difficult for a young marriage. So I was another study, I don't have this on me, but I saw it was just saying how sometimes when you marry younger, does that mean more marriages? Because, you're making mistakes. Sometimes you choose the wrong partner. There's a whole lot of factors that go into this. But then when you get into a husband that is a man that is older, what you see more likely is that if the man is older, the relationship lasts longer because the man is probably providing more resources and a better position and able to, I guess, sustain a marriage and keeping the woman.
He has a home.
Yeah.
He owns his cars. He is making more money or has more savings.
Yeah, has more to offer the woman. Yeah. But then, I mean, even still, it does say that's, whether the man is wealthy or not. So that's interesting to note. But
well, men have more of the option to marry younger women. That's just, because the man's value increases with age. Right. And that's something that we, that society knows and understand, because men can work longer than women as far as different jobs and things like that. We have more jobs available to us than women do.
Right. And men, this is interesting, men in their 40s tend to marry women who average 7 years younger. Men in their 50s are marrying brides who average 11 years younger. And according to English research, men in their 60s are marrying women who are 13 years younger.
Yeah, England is the woman who did the research.
Oh, yeah.
And men in the 60s, yeah. So the older that men get, they get to choose younger women.
Yeah. Yeah, and that still very much goes on. I mean, because if you think about it, how much would if these men have never married, right? And so you're talking about, even if we go down to like 30s right now, men are 30 years old getting married, right? So with that being the case, they're probably wanting to go at least 5 years younger, maybe. So a 30-year-old man is probably looking for like maybe a 25-year-old man, if on average woman, if on average men look for younger women.
For the best probability, yes, I would say so, to sustain a long marriage. And the reason being is this: a younger woman in that age range, I would say even 23 years old.
So 7 years, just like them.
The younger the woman is, the less responsibility. Well, not responsibility. The younger the woman, the easier for the man to have a need.
Yeah, to bring
in
her
that relationship.
Yeah.
Now, the older the woman gets, the more that she can provide for herself, usually if she's a college educated woman.
Yeah.
Now, these are the statistics that these women want to live by, but realistically, they cannot. And what's proving that is the fact that women are not marrying.
Yeah.
These women are not marrying. Most of them are never married, because what they did was they traded their marriage for a career.
Yeah.
These modern women have put themselves out of the dating market because men do not want modern women.
Yeah.
They don't. That's just what's going on. Even go back to the men's marital status. You see, the marriage is dropping in men because what they have to offer within their peers are women who are not wanting to get married.
Yeah, that's within the peers. Now, but what's good though is that at this age, a 40-year-old man or even a 30-year-old man is definitely in a better position to marry and take care of a woman 7 years younger, or like actually take in a wife and have himself established.
Yes, but but does a modern woman want an older man that old?
Well, that would be
Her
that's
best probability of
yeah, if
sustaining a
women
long marriage.
yeah, because if women want to be married and have husbands first, it does make more sense to focus on that first.
Yeah, but modern women do not want older men. They don't.
Yeah.
They don't. It's not. They don't look at that as something that is attractive. You know, how many women go out there and say, "Damn girl, look at that old man over there. He looks handsome. He looks
Hmm.
fine.
Yeah.
He looks fine." The older women are saying that to the young guys,
Hmm.
that young man is fine.
Yeah.
You know, that's just the reality of the situation. Women, modern women out there, career women, you all have to date up in age. You have to just deal with it. That is your shot of sustaining a long marriage. That is your shot on being in a relationship where you don't have to say, "Oh, I hate men."
Yeah.
To be honest with you, um, because these younger guys are not going to be able to offer you anything that you can't offer yourself
Right.
unless you can get through that ego.
Yeah.
If you can break through that ego, then yeah, you can have a homogamous relationship.
Yeah.
You can date your peers and
Yeah.
be fine with it.
Yeah.
Uh, what is wrong with trying to uplift the person that you're currently with?
Working together and growing together. I think that a lot of women aren't quite, I think in a way they want to do that. They would love to work and grow with a man, but they aren't quite aware of how to do that because we're so taught feminism, which just looks to uplift the woman. It doesn't talk about how to do it with a man, which is very important. Wifeconomics.com, we specifically go over that, doing this with a man, especially if you have a relationship and you see great potential in that, because it can be done. And I think that is a why, if we look back at that chart, that is why a lot of marriages occur within the same age, is because we like having our equal in a way, but the struggle comes in and kind of makes it hard.
No, it's because we are mostly around our peers,
Yeah.
people our age. That's
Hmm.
why we hang out with these people, go to bars with these
Yeah.
people, we party with these people.
Hmm.
That's the reason why.
Yeah,
When you
especially
go
when
on a
you're in
dating
career.
site, women don't necessarily look for men who are 50 years old.
Yeah.
And then also, too, these men, you don't necessarily see these men on dating websites,
Yeah.
50s and 60-year-old men. You don't. And then also, too, by this time, these 50s and 60s, because 50 and 60-year-old men who actually approach women and talk to them. That's why. They
Yeah.
don't need dating websites. They're well established, got money and all this stuff. They have their confidence. They've been through the ups and downs of life, and they're very confident in
Hmm.
themselves. Unlike men who are in their 20s and 30s,
Right.
who have little to offer in this economy, in this day and age.
Yeah. Which is a lot harder, especially with unemployment rates rising.
Well, with inflation,
Yeah, true.
our wages are not competing with the rate of inflation.
Yeah.
It's not. It just
Mhm.
isn't. You know. And then not only that, too, like you said, the unemployment, regardless of the fact if you have a college degree, now in these times there are less and less jobs
Mhm.
that want your college degree
Yeah.
on their roster. Everything is consolidating now. So
Yeah.
we have to change with the times. That's what we're trying to show you all. In order to maintain a successful marriage, you see these things are out of our control. The
Mhm.
the numbers are out of our control.
Yeah.
You got to want to personally make the change to fix yourself so that you're right for somebody and date with the intention of marriage
Hmm.
so we can break these statistics.
Yeah, this is interesting. In first marriages, men are typically a couple years older than men, but the older men are when they marry, and it doesn't matter whether it's first or second marriage, the more years they marry down. So that's just illustrating that. But that's quite interesting to note because it is a double standard. I was just about to say it is very much a double standard because I
Right.
wonder if that's the case for women.
It's not.
Yeah. So England and research partner Elizabeth explained their findings due to major alterations of the family structure following the 60s, more divorces, more remarrying, a double standard of aging. They say that male ideal of beauty has found that women in early 20s and remains fixed as age. Okay, that was a little different than what I was talking about. I was more so saying the double standard of, I wonder if women are also, they're not
Right
marrying
there.
older.
Women may be a little bit more indifferent to age than men are
Okay, yeah,
because they are not judging people as much on looks.
well, so I mean, I guess that's saying that they will date a man because they don't care about. I don't know. I think nowadays that might be a little different. What do y'all think?
No, women are not marrying.
Yeah, right. Of
That's what
course,
the
because of
problem
the
is today is that these college educated women don't want to consider marriage.
right, or they're looking for more than I guess that's out there for them,
They're
like
marrying our peers. What happens is they're marrying their peers who
older
don't
than
have
age.
anything to offer to them. They get impatient, mad, angry, and upset at someone, a man in there at the age of 35, 30,
Yeah,
why you can't perform or provide the same way that I'm providing. Get
yeah,
upset. They wait for this man to slip up, make a cheat or something, and then they say, "Oh, that's it. We're getting a divorce."
yeah. Jump ship.
That's what's going on. Women are quitting these marriages. They're quitting to the point that now they don't even want to get married.
Yeah,
And then now I've seen articles that men don't even want to get married either. That's the reason why you're seeing more and more men waiting until their 30s to get married.
yeah. To
Because
prepare themselves. Yeah,
realistically, the reason why men are waiting until 30s to get married is because they want to date their peers too, but their peers don't want to get married.
hmm,
That's what's going on. So the fix for all of this is for 30 some year old men. You need to date down you need to date down in your 20s. 20 some year old women, you need to actually start getting married and
hmm,
date up into your 30s
yeah,
to have the best successful chance of marriage. And if need be, you don't even have to go to college.
yeah.
And I'll tell you why. Women, you don't have to go to college. You can consider the option of getting married. What are you scared about? One, women first go into marriages with lack and scarcity and fear. There's no fear. Women, you don't have to fear marriage because I'm gonna tell you what. If a man marries you and you're young and he messes up, all you're gonna do is get a divorce anyway and take 2/3 of what he has.
Hmm. Yikes.
You and then what? And then you can go and date someone older than that. If he messes up, then you can do the same thing. It doesn't work that way with men. We have to do so much more to prove that we were wronged in the relationship in order to file for a divorce.
Yeah, the system's more geared towards women.
Right. So now this system is taking care of you.
Right.
You don't
Yeah.
even have to work. You're just collecting alimony checks. To be honest with you.
Yeah. That would be an option. I mean, that women should really consider because a lot of women
Yeah,
they
but you need
want
to
to be
marry and
married.
stay
Yeah.
married.
Yeah, they want to be married, but I think that's where things like wifeconomics.com comes in because it really helps you to learn which spouse is probably best for me and how to pick them out so that I can get the best odds out of my marriage succeeding, as well as equipping you with the tools to help that succeed.
Right.
Because that's what we lack, a big education on how to help marriages stay together and succeed when they're the biggest thing that holds together a strong community is strong families. So yeah, wifeconomics.com, that's definitely a great resource for you. But women, yeah, if you could learn how to be a wife, you can better prepare yourself to get on a man's program and then work together to build a great life. You don't have to think about doing it on your own. I think feminism gets us in the mindset of having to do it on our own first versus, doing it with the man. Just take care of yourself. Get a simple job somewhere, you know, something that you can learn some skills, you know, if anything, community college maybe. So, you know, you can learn some skills, but college has gotten really expensive. I agree
Right,
with you.
exactly. What I
Yeah.
heard now, they did, $400,000
Great.
if you live on campus, room and board for 4 years or something. Some colleges cost that much,
Mhm.
400,000.
That is,
That's probably master programs or
I
something.
would hope that's
College all the way
not.
through masters or something like that.
Wow. I would really hope that that
Yeah,
is
I mean,
not
and
such.
then count in your doctorates. So that's probably all the way through doctorates.
That's like immediately signing up for slavery because you have a debt to pay off that's more than you can possibly
Right.
make right
And then you
away.
get a degree in,
Yeah.
basket weaving or something. That doesn't equal up to any money.
You're better off not going into debt, keeping yourself right, tight, fit, ready to go so you can be a wife to a man who is about his stuff too.
Right. So men are preparing their kingdom. Modern
Yeah.
women don't get left.
Yeah.
Um what you're going to see in the future, the near future, or what's going on now is the fact that men, like we stated before, are are marrying now in their 30s, which used to be at the age of on average 22 back in the older years. Men no longer are marrying in their 20s.
Right.
So what goes on when a man does that?
He's
Um,
preparing himself.
Men are preparing themselves for marriage.
Mm-hmm.
As men work in the workforce, they're making more money the longer they work. If they do it right, that's what goes on. They raise themselves. There's still jobs where you can move around and make more money because the longer you work, the more valuable you are.
Yeah.
And that's what men are doing.
Yeah, and I think that's
So
helpful.
so men, if you want a shot to sustain a marriage and to get a wife, save, work throughout your 20s, work 12 hours a day, Monday through Friday, save that money up, buy a house, and then marry a younger woman, because
Mm-hmm.
that woman is going to be able to uh, re- uh, have your children, less complications with marriage, with pregnancy, and also she's, like I said before yesterday, she'll have more energy than a 30-some-year-old woman to chase the kids, take care of the kids, feed the kids,
Yeah.
cook, clean, all of that.
Yeah, and she's more apt to have an open schedule, ready to get onto your program when she's not already tied down with so many things and obligations that she's already committed herself to
Right.
and probably gotten all wrapped up mentally and passionate in. Then, you know, you more likely to get her mentally passionate about your family and having
Right.
a family and doing and growing together and doing the things that you're doing. So,
Right. Those are just some jewels that we just dropped right there.
yeah.
That is what men are doing today. Men are holding out, waiting too, because women are not wanting to get married. And then that's the reason why you see the passport bros, because these men who are starting to get some sort of change in their pockets they want love. They want to go out and find a wife, someone who they can provide and protect for.
Mm-hmm.
That's the yearning of a man, is to be a provider and a protector. And then women want to be nurturers and have children. That, like that article that I had saw not too long ago about women wanting to just have children. That's your biological clock, your natural instinct of being a mother. But the thing is that it's going to be harder for you to just be a single mother by yourself, working a career and taking care of a child. So you're paying daycare for this child, and let alone you're setting this child back because they don't have a father in their life.
Yeah. Don't be selfish.
Don't be selfish. Why are modern women choosing that? Why is that even an option? Why are you all not choosing marriage?
And
Somebody
not
answer
getting
that
pregnant
question.
and not at least protecting yourself to not get pregnant while you're not married.
Why they want to get pregnant, evidently.
That's not good. Yeah, I know.
So men, you need to stop. You need to wear protection. You need to stop. Young men in their 20s need to stop
Sleeping around.
dating. Stop dating because you cannot provide and protect this woman in your 20s. or early 30s, to be honest with you. Once you establish the fact that you have your own home, then yeah, you can welcome a woman into it, and that will be the game changer, because that woman is not going to want to leave you because you're providing and protecting for her.
Right.
She'll be hard pressed to want to leave you, and that's crazy.
Yeah, you have way more to offer. And she, rightfully so, a woman, I think is early prepared for to be a wife and a mother way earlier than a man is. I think that's why we get those earnings to want a man so soon, or we get those earnings to want to be a mom's yearnings to want to be a mom so soon. It's because, we're prepared and ready to, well, not so much prepared, but we're ready and then needing to get prepared to do that role.
Right.
Very young at an early age. That's
right.
okay.
But it can be done. But the thing is that women, you all have to set it in your mind that it's okay to date someone who's older, like way older.
If you want to get married,
10 or 15 years older.
Yeah, because if you're 20 years old, 21 years old, or even let's say 22, you fresh out of college, or even 18, 19, you're fresh out of high school and you don't quite know what you want to do with your life, but you want to have a family. Maybe you didn't come from a family. I can relate there. You want to have a family. So take the time to figure out what it means to be a wife and then work towards that goal, not so much the opposite goal of building yourself career-wise and all this other stuff, because it kind of puts your focus elsewhere. Not saying that you can never have a career or whatever, but just get your ducks in a row first.
Why would a woman want a career though? She's being taken care of.
Yeah, I mean, some women have their thing of whatever they want to do, but I mean, I don't know. That's especially some women after they've had kids with their husband or whatever, and the kids, or if they don't homeschool and their kids go off to school, they're kind of bored, they may want to do something, whatever, that all has to be agreed upon with your husband, of course, talked about, agreed upon, and probably discussed very early on, but you're right, a woman wouldn't really want to have a career if she is completely happy and satisfied. There's something wrong with that. Life is great, that. Supporting your family, just being a great wife and a mother.
Now, I may understand if the man isn't providing enough in the income.
Yeah.
A man is now in these times need to provide a two-person income. That means what, like $110,000.
Yeah.
A year.
Yeah.
That's the realistic of the situation. Yeah.
And probably more depending on where you're living at. So there may be times, like you said, women may have to work. Excuse me.
Right. But look at a celebrity example is Marcus Houston. Marcus Houston and his wife.
Wow, yeah.
He married her when she was like 18 or something.
Okay.
And they've been married ever since. And that was, I don't know, they got married in 2018 or something.
Yeah.
And then recently you heard that Modern Women was mad at him and calling him out and all this other stuff, which is saying ridiculous.
That's grooming. Let's go into this a little bit. Grooming. When you want to do anything, when you aspire to do anything, isn't it only right that you prepare for it? You learn the thing you need to do for it. You equip yourself with whatever you need to do so that you can get the job done. You need to know what you have to do. There's nothing wrong with that. We literally groom all of us for whatever it is that we do. Your employer grooms you when they hire you on to be an employee. Like maybe you step up the ladder and you've been groomed all throughout the company to be a CEO. Who knows? You know what I mean? Like, it's ways you naturally prepare yourself for anything you undertake. And if you don't, then you're preparing yourself to fail. So I think it's in everybody's best interest to groom themselves, prepare themselves for marriage. Because what's wrong with that? You're now setting yourself up to have a successful marriage.
Right.
She, 18, 19, was ready and willing to commit to this man, knew what was in her mind, went forward. There's nothing wrong with that. We look back at the ages that were getting married back then, right? So if we want to check that back out again. I don't even think it'll let me pull that up. But anyways, the ages that were getting married back then, you remember, was like in the 20s from women in particular that were getting married. Yeah. But the ages that the women were getting married. It was your Excel sheet. Yeah, I know. I can't even go back to that.
It's right at the bottom. Your Excel, the green square at the bottom.
I exit out of the share screen
for
the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's okay. But anyways, my point was that back then, what it was like 1950, they were 20s getting married. So it's not unheard of. It's not like a woman is not ready to get married at that age. I very much knew I wanted to be a wife, 8 years old. Knew that, said that was going to happen. Did I groom myself? Sure did. Why? Because I said I was going to be a wife. I learned what I had to learn. I did what I had to do. You know, you groom yourself and prepare yourself to take on what it is you're going to take.
Right, but modern women are grooming themselves for college.
Right. So then that's
And
where it comes
careers.
in. You evaluate yourself. Don't get laughed. Like, are you grooming yourself for the right thing? Is that what you really want to do? Do you want to be out here an independent alpha woman who has to participate in hypogamy because you make too much money and you outprice yourself in the market? You got the bag, but now you can't find your equal because your bag is quite big.
And then you get a divorce.
Yeah. Or you don't get married.
Or don't get married. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's the choice. That's a choice you women have to make. I don't see, the issue isn't men not wanting to marry anymore. That isn't the case. The problem is that men aren't finding wives anymore, or indication of the wife.
Yeah.
Like, we know now what to look for. Men know what to look for. We know our value now. We know our worth. Real men, not boys. We know all of that. Women are getting left behind in all of this, especially American women. American women are being left behind in all of this because nobody is coming here looking for American women to marry. That's just the fact of the matter.
And they haven't built up their worth of being married. Have you built yourself up so that you are fully equipped, ready to go, offering true qualities, true skills?
Right, because what is it that you have to offer?
Minus a degree.
And money.
And maybe some good looks.
Because a man who has all of that don't need any of that.
Yeah. The good looking woman would get a little ahead, but if she, doesn't know how to be a wife, then you will have issues keeping that man. Or you'll get those situations where you meet men who don't commit to you because you don't know how to be a wife.
Yeah.
Wifeconomics.com.
Yep, that's where you can go to learn all of these qualities of a wife.
Yeah.
Get some self-help and learn what men are looking for in wives.
Yeah.
And why they're looking for these qualities for a wife.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, we're talking about men. Men are the ones who are looking for wives out here, not playing house with you. That boyfriend girlfriend thing it's only it's only a role play thing. You're playing house. I don't encourage it. To be honest with you, trying to move in your 20s and live with your peers, because it's not the greatest probability to marriage. It's not.
Or
it
successful
to a successful marriage.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to struggle.
Yeah, not saying it can't be done. We are a product of it being done. We got together very young. We grew together. We had lots of trials and tribulations, and now we're on the other side of it, and we're like, woo, thank God we got through it. We're so happy for our union. But wow, if people actually took the time, women prepared themselves to be wives as the men prepare themselves in their kingdom to take on a wife, things will be so much easier.
Right, most definitely.
You skip the struggle.
You don't have to struggle.
Yeah.
You don't have to buy furniture on credit. You don't have to utilize a lot of credit. The man will have more cash saved over so that you can buy more groceries to feed your family. You don't have to live paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah, and the man will be better equipped to articulate what he wants in his woman. If you have taken the time to prepare your kingdom, then you can tell her, okay, this is how I like you. I want to bring you on as my wife. This is how we're going to do things. Right. She would be ready and willing to go along with that plan, especially if you have one already set up. You have the house, you have everything ready to go for her to come in. Now, women, again, it takes knowing how to be a wife. That's really, really important, which we see a lot of women not quite looking to do that anymore. Being a wife, being married. but then later on, I guess, want to, because everybody loves companionship in particular. And men, they don't work hard to not have a legacy, at least. A lot of men like that. It's not many men that I know that would work all this time, gain so much, and not really want to pass it on one day to a family.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, a man is going to want to pass that on to a family. And then, like we see, the age will go up when that happens of the women that he is going to date. The age the age goes down based on if his age goes up and when he does marry.
Right.
The median age difference being 1.5 years. This was old.
That's in the first marriage.
Yeah.
In the first marriage, you see a lot of hypogamous
Mhm.
relationships going
Yeah.
on. And then things click with men and realize that, I need to be dating younger women.
Yeah.
Who are less who have less of an ego and more to offer.
Yeah, ready to get onto their program.
Because that's the reality of the situation, dealing with modern women, is really the younger women have more to offer than older career women when it comes to marriage. For any man who's willing to provide and protect. That's just the reality. She don't even have to have any money. Men aren't looking for money. They're not. Right. Modern women are scared of marriage and commitment.
Yeah.
That was weird because it used to be men. You used to hear that men were scared of commitment because they had a lot of options. They didn't want to just choose one. But now in these times, modern women don't even have an option. The option is to actually put the ego aside and marry somebody. That's what their option is, to be honest with you. Before, men used to be scared to commit in a marriage, but now modern women don't even want to consider it. But men are still committing. They still want marriage. Men still want marriage, but that's the reason why, like I said before, they're going outside of the United States to try to find a wife.
Yeah.
Women who have traditional values and still within them that know how to cater to a man and be his helpmate.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But modern women are getting left behind because they don't have any of those wife skills. Any of them. None of them. You all don't want them. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
I think they do. I truly believe within all women, there is a desire to have a family and companionship and a husband, to be a wife. There is a huge desire within all of us. I truly believe that. But feminism has warped the woman's mind to where she thinks that, I can get all this other stuff first and then I'll be able to still get the man of my dreams.
Yeah, but they don't want the options that they have. A 35
those aren't the men of their dreams, I guess.
Right. They don't, it's not going to work that way. A 35-year-old woman or 32-year-old woman, let's talk about that. I can look on my LinkedIn and see all these girls that I went to college with, and I see that they're still not married. At one time, guys would stumble over themselves just to approach these women.
Yeah.
Now you're not even approachable. Nobody wants to marry you. Yeah. That's just the fact of the matter. I mean, I don't mean to laugh, but what are y'all doing different? What are you all, women between the age of 32 and 35, what are you all doing to fix that? And I think the answer is just give up.
No.
That's what they're doing. That's the statistics are showing that.
Well, yeah, it seems like they are just giving up.
Just
I don't think that's the best
buy
answer.
a dog, and this, that's it. Just, be depressed for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
That's not the answer.
It's not.
There's that we're giving you all the jewels here.
To start family.
Try it.
Yeah.
It's the problem is that their ego is too big and is unattractive.
Yeah.
They don't want it. Dang, I don't want to. They don't want to marry granddaddy. They don't want to marry granddaddy.
Well, that's where it comes in, young ladies, early ages. If you know that you want to get married, consider your value at such a young age and go ahead and get married early.
Don't let that happen to you.
Don't focus on college first and all this other stuff first. It can come, I promise. Follow the natural order of things. Focus on your marriage, getting married, finding a good man, then having kids.
Right, because I'm going to tell you the
that.
truth now these days, that college degree is only going to, coming out of college, is going to get you an average income. You didn't spent twice that amount of money on your average income to get a degree, a paper, to allow you to get a job.
Yeah.
Sooner or later in the future, I think they're going to do away with college degrees.
Right.
Looking for people with college degrees.
Right.
In general, a high school diploma is what's going to get you that job. They're looking for people with experience.
Or a college degree is going to be like a high school diploma where everybody has one.
That's how it is now.
Yeah,
that's what's going on now.
Matter. So then you're back on the, like you said, you're making a regular price.
Certifications and experience is what matters the most now these days.
Yeah. So get your certification and experience in being a wife
right.
first.
That is your best strategy, young woman.
And it don't cost too much.
To get a husband.
It sure don't cost $400,000. I don't know how much college is now, but I'm sure wifeconomics.com does not cost that much. But the feminism courses that keep you not married cost way more than a course that will keep you married.
What is the average cost of college today? I don't even know.
I don't know. That's quite interesting and unfortunate too, because then that also means that a lot of marriages are starting off back with a lot of debt.
Debt, right? Exactly.
And that's even more struggle love. Boy,
right.
That's even more struggle love, especially at a young age.
How is that going to work when you paying debt, a mortgage, car note, all that stuff,
right?
And then trying to buy furniture and then have a baby.
Right. That's why kids are being delayed too for America, because they're like, geez, how the heck can we do both? Yeah. Because kids are getting, along with college being more expensive, kids are getting more expensive to raise. So you have to take in consideration all of those things. And ladies, if you're weighing your option, if marriage and a family is something that you want to prioritize, which is okay. God set it up that way. Do that.
Average cost of college, out-of-state tuition, $176,000 over 4 years. In-state, $102,000 over 4 years.
Okay, so about $25,000. What
a private nonprofit university, $218,000 over 4 years. So honey, like I wasn't that far off, because if you actually trying to go and get your master's or whatever, you're approaching $500,000 of debt that you've already accumulated for a 6-figure salary.
Wow.
And then now you got to delay on getting a home.
Right.
That's backwards. That's backwards to me. You need to focus on trying to get a house first and then go to college, because you paying for a house note for your college degree.
Yeah.
I don't even have that much money to my college debt. Thank God.
Right. All of this is like backwards too to me anyway, because why would you go into debt to make money? I mean, a massive amount of debt for not even a guarantee of money. It's not even like you're saying, after I finish this, I for sure have this job lined up, ready to go, unless you set that all up your senior year.
Because in the 80s and 90s, you could do it and make a lot of money. That was the reason why.
Okay.
It worked then.
Yeah.
Then people passed that same life strategy on to their children.
Okay.
And then the unfortunate thing is that the majority of the people who graduated from college, their parents didn't save anything for them to go to college.
Right.
So they had to provide all of that on their own. So that's what happened. And then now with this economy that we're going through now, it doesn't add up. The money that you're making is not paying for your college loan debts and your rent that you want to live for and have a car. There's just those things alone, a brand new car. What it's doing is that now you have to still live paycheck to paycheck, even though you still have to live paycheck and paycheck. So you can't afford, you can't enjoy life the way that you want to.
Yeah.
Like I said, women, you are better off
not doing it,
and marrying somebody who already has done that and support that man.
Yep.
to his fullest
18.
potential.
18, figure out your way of taking care of yourself, sustaining yourself with a simple job, you know, roof over your head, get, you know, or stay in mama daddy house. If that's an option, that would be great. Stay with mama daddy until you have your family hopefully can
Ask your
help you find a
father.
man. Yeah, yep, exactly. I was
Ask
just
your
about to say that.
father to
Yep.
find you a husband. If you can't do this yourself, ladies, I would not even advise you to go out and try to find a man on your own, because a lot of young ladies don't know the difference between a boy and a man, and you all get caught up in looks.
Yeah.
You all get so caught up in looks, and you don't even see that he don't even have any money in his pockets.
And also, too, I think that's why a lot of women go for the same age, too, because if a woman actually looked for the things that she wanted, like, I want a man to provide for me, I want him to have this, this, and this set in order. If you were to actually look around at who is in your dating field, it probably isn't the man next to you who's your age.
It
would be older, at least 5 years older, maybe 4 years older, to where he's already established himself enough to be able to take you on as a wife.
Right, exactly.
Which is a better playing field for you coming in, where you are more comfortable to play the feminine role, because you're not worried about, oh, this man's gonna leave me because he can't provide, or, oh, we got to struggle love and figure this out on our own, which just puts the cards against you, because it's harder. You know, figuring out life together, it's a nice thing, but it's also very hard.
Right. And don't marry a man. I mean, don't try to approach a man who already has children.
Yeah.
You know, you're just setting yourself way back.
Yeah.
Even more.
Yeah.
You know, you
yeah.
I don't know. I don't understand these decisions that these people make today.
I think that's a good topic to talk about tomorrow for Marriage Fit Friday, which is tomorrow. So I think that we should say
yeah, we can do that. We'll provide some tips on
better prepare yourself to be a part of a man's kingdom and help him and you guys build together.
Yeah.
That would be great. Marriage Fit Friday.
Yeah. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching this, and we will see you all tomorrow. Peace.